Hey guys, welcome to Last Movie Standing. I have a question. How much would you spend on a Blu-ray? Seriously, 50 bucks, 100 bucks, 300 bucks? I'm not talking box sets and all that stuff that you're kind of paying for a package. I'm talking about just the movie. Just bare bones movie. How much would you pay? I've paid quite a bit for some of these. Right now I'm really into this, finding older movies that I don't think will get a new release anytime soon, or a re-release anytime soon. So I've been trying to find them, and some of them have been overseas, and some of them have just been here. And today I kind of want to go through a few of the movies that I have that are just outrageous prices online, but thrift shopping really helped, and I found some gold last week, and that's the first one I want to get into today. This movie is like 155 bucks online. Tomcats. Swear to God. It is out of print. It's not on Amazon. I've been looking for this movie for probably over a year. And there's only one copy on eBay. And it's literally 150 bucks. And it's like used. So they do have this in Germany, which I actually like the artwork in Germany a little better. But I found this at a thrift store for $9.99. Literally, when I found it online there, I drove 45 minutes, went there, picked it up. So happy. If you haven't heard of Tomcats, what year is this from? 2001. It's a raunchy comedy. This is when Shannon Elizabeth is right after American Pie. She's kind of at the height of her, I don't want to say star, but like she was a sex symbol for like the early 2000s. And Jamie Presley's in this. It's Gary Busey's son is in this, Jake Busey. Who else is it? Jerry O'Connell. And then it really funny, raunchy comedy. Absolutely hilarious. But this is totally out of print. And if you have it, keep this thing. Because I don't know. Who is this from? This is from Image Entertainment. Or Columbia distributed this. And I don't really think these are the kind of movies they really re-release. So this was the first one I found. And I was so stoked when I found this. This next one, I'm actually shocked. It's becoming a little easier to find, but when I got it, it was really hard to find, and I just found this. Cruel Intentions. Cruel Intentions, I feel, is due for a 4K soon, hopefully. I can totally see Arrow doing this. Arrow did Wild Things. This has a double pack with Wild Things on Blu-ray. That's also kind of hard to find, but I don't really like those double packs personally. It is from Columbia. So Sony, I could totally see Arrow doing this, and I hope we get it, but it's surprisingly hard to find. And I have a whole video coming out about this specifically. And this is my first import of the video. I think I only have like 2 in here. Dangerous Beauty. This is probably the most I have ever spent on a Blu-ray. I'm going to tell you right now. I spent 80 bucks on this. Technically, it's 80 bucks with an asterisk. It cost 80 bucks. It was like 60 bucks plus shipping from overseas. I think totaled it was like 80 something. And the only reason I justified that was I just sold something on eBay, some video equipment, and video equipment usually you get pretty good money for video equipment. So I kind of justified it. All in all, after I made that sale, this was maybe 30 bucks. This never came out in the US, ever. Like, it never got a Blu-ray release. And I saw that it had one in Germany, but I could not find it anywhere. I couldn't find it on German YouTube. Amazon or eBay. I couldn't find it anywhere, but I found one copy. And I jumped on it because I'm like, I don't see this ever come. I can see this maybe coming to print. It's Fox. That's why I spent 80 bucks on it. Because this is Fox. And I don't know if this is something Sony is. I know Disney's not going to release it. If you've never seen this movie, it's from 1998? 1997. Catherine McCormick is the star of this. If you would recognize her, she was in a Spy Game with Brad Pitt. She was the love interest. She was also in Braveheart. She was William Wallace's wife at the beginning of the movie. This is it's basically female Casanova. If you've seen Casanova with Heath Ledger, this is the female version of that. She's a female courtesan, so a female prostitute, very much like Casanova was a male. And it takes place in Venice. It's got an amazing cast: Oliver Platt, Rufus. Some of these people, you would know these people if you saw them, kind of a thing. There's this one scene in here that just baffles me. It's one of the greatest scenes ever. It's a poetry sword fight with her and Oliver Platt, which is absolutely hilarious.
Have you the guts to try again, blade to blade and pen to pen?
I will say this transfer is a little rough. And I say that knowing it just needs a proper restoration. There's a lot of film scratches on it that on the DVD is present, but because DVD is a lot more lower quality, a little bit, you don't notice it as much. But before I spent $80 on this, I rented it on Vudu. And I watched the HD version to really see, was there a difference? And I would compare the digital versus the DVD. And yeah, there was a difference. But even on the digital version online, you see the scratches and everything. So the film looks better on Blu-ray, obviously, but I feel like this really needs a proper, clean restoration, which I hope is possible, because it's a beautiful film. 97, beautiful time period, and it never got released in the States. Power Rangers. I found this for $20 at a movie trading. Most of my movies I buy from a movie trading company. Living here in Dallas, we have a bunch of them. I absolutely love it. I live there. I go there like 2-3 times a week. It feels like sometimes just looking. This I'm shocked is out of print. Like as fast. I think this just came out. When did this come out? Like on Blu-ray. 2019, and it's already out of print. I think I bought this a year ago. And it was more for nostalgic reasons. I was a huge Power Rangers fan growing up as a kid. I was Power Ranger for Halloween in the 90s. It was crazy. I remember where I was when the first episode premiered. I think it was 93. Was it 93 or 95? No, this came out in 95, so it was 93. This movie is so bad that it's good. Like, I rewatched it recently, and I watched it like 3 times in a row. Like, I love Ivan Ooze. I think Ivan Ooze is so funny. And fun fact, I didn't know this. Ivan Ooze is the bad guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Blew my mind. I was like, wow, this dude's got range. But yeah, Power Rangers is out of print. And I don't know how much it's going for now. It's Shout Factory. Shout stuff is always overpriced and goes out of print really fast. But this one, the sequel is even more hard to find. Was it Turbo? Which is a worse movie. But that one's even harder to find. So if you have this, like, major props, I can see them maybe re-releasing this one day, because Power Rangers is such, I feel like, a massive franchise, but I don't know who owns it. I don't know who. Oh, Fox. Yeah. Never mind to that. DOA Dead or Alive. This is an awfully bad but super fun Blu-ray movie. Blu-ray looks really good. It's not like so much more amazing than the DVD. The DVD still holds up very well. But when I saw this, it was really expensive at the time. This was like going for like 60, 50, maybe 70 or more dollars online. And I was really surprised. And I almost jumped on it one day at that price. I'm like, nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. But I found it on Amazon. I would leave it up on my cart and just wait to see. It was just always unavailable, unavailable, unavailable. And then it showed up one day for $24.99. Out of stock, but $24.99. So I bought it. And I think I had to wait like almost a month for this to come in. But totally worth it. Like, I don't see this ever getting re-release. Dimension Home Entertainment. Is it Dimension? Yeah. This is basically, it's based off of a video game. I would say better than a lot of the video game movies coming out today. Like you almost just gotta forget storyline and just look how beautifully it's shot, because it's shot really cool. The rain sequence with the rain, oh my god. So cool. Really cool cinematography. The editing is definitely of the time. When did this movie come out? This movie came out in 2006. So it's got this, I don't want to say MTV style editing, but very much so that music video style of editing. Jamie Presley, it's got a bunch of people you would know. I can't even name all their names. It's from the director of Transporter, who I think Transporter 1. But yeah, this one, I like this movie. I know it's a bad movie, but I like it. And if you've seen the movie, you know why. It's just beautiful girls fighting in a very PG Mortal Kombat type tournament. There's no blood. There's really no killing. Eric Roberts is in the movie as the villain, if that tells you anything about the movie. This next one is my most recent overpriced movie that I've paid for. Supercross. Do you remember, if you saw my last video and I said this is a movie I want at $60 a Blu-ray. And I have to convince myself, is it worth it? It's not. I have the DVD, which is totally fine. But it's one of these movies I feel like it may never get re-released because it's such an obscure kind of movie. This is the movie. And I did buy it like about an hour later after I made that video. This one, it was the cheapest I could find it. It's really hard to find everywhere for some reason. And it's on eBay, but it's like people are trying to sell it for $80. On Amazon, it's like $150 used, which is crazy. It's a motocross movie from 2005 with Sophia Bush. I don't know his name. The guy from, I'm just going to read it off here. Steve Howie. He was in Shameless, and the kid from Grind, the main guy, the blonde kid from Grind. And I don't know where this blonde chick is from. I've never seen her before. The villain from Terminator 2 is in here. What's his name? Robert Patrick is in here. Channing Tatum is in here. Small role. It's very much like half this movie, they literally just shot B-roll at Supercross events. But it's a fun movie, great soundtrack. It kind of follows two brothers who are competing in the Supercross world. One is sponsored by the biggest company, and one is more of like a, free-spirited, gonna do what he wants to do, rides for kind of the lower end company. It's from Fox, so I don't see them redoing this at all recently, but I bought this because I'm a huge Sophia Bush fan. I grew up on Sophia Bush, and that's going to transition to the next one, because this next one, I'm just going to take out the stack. The Hitcher from 2005. I mentioned this in my DVDs that haven't come to Blu-ray yet video, but I found this at a movie trading company for $15. This is the Canadian version of the film. I think it did come out here in the States, but probably got a very limited run. I think this is from 2006. So this was in that era where it was Blu-ray or HD DVD. This does have an HD DVD, I believe. But it never really got a Blu-ray. Or if it did, it was a very small, release. Like, they never reprinted them. and I can't find it anywhere. And online, this thing is going for stupid money, and there are some overseas versions that I just don't trust. Like if it's from Turkey or Italy or something, I'm just like, I'm not really gonna trust that. But I found this Canadian one for $15 and I just snatched it. I love that movie. This next one, I spent probably a good amount, but only because it's two movies in one. Spike Lee Joint Volume 1. Is it Volume 1? Or I don't know what volume it is. Yeah, Volume 1. With 25th Hour and He Got Game. Two of my favorite Spike Lee movies ever. And they came in the same package. And this is the only way these two have ever been released on Blu-ray through Disney. Because they're both Touchstone films. And I think it's funny that, you know, you open them up and these two hardcore Spike Lee hard R movies are in these like Disney style Blu-rays, you know? But I'm going to end up putting these in individual cases, like custom making artwork for them at one point. But this was becoming really hard to find. I bought it for like, I think $50. So I justified it with, it's two movies that'll probably never get re-released again. They might. It's Spike Lee. Spike Lee is one of the biggest directors ever. I'm pretty sure these will get some kind of treatment one of these days. Sony, if you do anything, put Spike Lee's 25th Hour on 4K. Even if you just re-release a Blu-ray, you know? He Got Game. Come on. But yeah, this one's becoming harder and harder to find. Like I've seen some on eBay for $70. I'm like, that's crazy. So I jumped on it before the prices just skyrocketed. Basketball Diaries. Like the legit American release of Basketball Diaries on Blu-ray. I just got this probably a couple months ago. I found it on eBay. It was like $35 and it was like the only one left. And I looked on eBay and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I kept seeing this on the list. So I jumped on it. I honestly, confession, I've never seen this movie. I saw the trailer and I was like, why have I never seen this movie? It looks amazing. And it's got an all-star cast. I mean, it's Leonardo DiCaprio. It's Mark Wahlberg. I was like, is Mark Wahlberg in this? Because I thought they were in another movie together. But it looks fantastic. I've never seen it. I'm excited to watch it. But I jumped on the Blu-ray because it was getting so hard to find. I don't even know who does this. What is this? Palm Pictures? I don't know who owns the rights to this. And it made me realize Leo's got a few movies that are just not on Blu-ray or not easy to find. The Beach is not on Blu-ray. This is becoming really hard to find. There is a Spanish version of this, and you'll really know it because this text right here is in Spanish. It'll have like a giant L for Leo, and then it'll... But it's the same artwork. Just be careful of that. Anything is Spanish imports, I'm very hesitant about because I don't know how true they are, if they're bootlegged or not. But I'm excited to watch this one. This is one of the few that I have in my collection that I bought that I haven't been able to watch yet. This is the only DVD in this thing, but I remember seeing this. It's 8 days a week with Carrie Russell. I think she's like, oh god, if you grew up watching this, you know, it's basically about a kid. So a kid who falls in love with the girl next door, but she's going off to college and he's trying to like, he wants to confess his love to her. And so what he does basically the whole summer is he just sits outside her house the whole time. He camps outside of her house. She doesn't really pay him that much attention. It's got these really cool like like dream sequences in it. It's quite charming in a way, but it's also very much a raunchy comedy at the same time. A coming of age story. It's from Michael Davis. Michael Davis is a director who he did 100 Girls. He did Shoot 'Em Up with Clive Owen and Monica Bellucci. I think this was like his first like real movie. And it's one of the movies where if you saw as a kid, you would really appreciate it more. This one, how much did I spend on this? I think I spent $40 on this. And being a DVD, spending that much money on a DVD, yeah, I'm gonna say that's a lot, you know. But I actually just recently found this at a movie trading company for $10 too. I put my name. I put it on like a if it ever shows up, call me list, and apparently I'm the only one on that list. So they called me like 2 weeks ago, and they said it was $10, and I was like, oh, "Are you kidding me?" So it happens. Like with thrifting and Blu-ray, it's a waiting game. So it depends. Are you willing to wait for it to randomly show up at a thrift store, or are you willing to take the risk that the price is just going to keep jumping online? That's kind of a hard thing to decide. For me, I battle that constantly. I'm constantly like, I want it. I don't want to spend this much money, but it may never come back again. It's a bad mentality to have, but sadly, I have it and it sucks. All that being said, we as collectors, we're going to spend our money how we want to spend our money. You know, this is probably the dumbest purchase I've ever made. Like, honestly, it's $80. Did my light just go out again? No, my light just went out. It's a movie that never came to the States. So for me, it was justifying it because I couldn't find it anywhere. You know, but I could also spend the same amount on a movie that I can get here in the States for $15, but I'll spend $80 on a box set with all this unique artwork and everything. We're all different and we all spend our money differently. And I've come to learn doing this how scarce DVDs are within a certain time frame. Between 2004 and 2007, I feel like there's a giant gap of movies that just either never got released on Blu-ray here in the States or got the smallest run and now are becoming super hard to find. But I will say, thrift shopping, if you're not thrift shopping, dude, get into it. Because finding this, real fast, finding Tomcats for $10, literally, I can't tell you how excited I was when I found this. Can you imagine spending $150 on a used movie? Get out of here. You know?